So how are we doing? Okay, so right now, you're here because I'm promising that we're going to get the Meris MercuryX to be a multi-effect pedal that is not a reverb pedal. It's gonna happen. Let's just dive in. As you know, I love the Meris MercuryX. It is a fantastic reverb pedal that is so tweakable. There are so many menus that allow you to tweak things, and I don't say that in a bad way. It's the fun kind of menu diving that you can have. And you can make a lot of different things, really unique sounds, but then also, if you've watched this channel at all, you'll know that I've done a few videos that kind of emulate some other sounds. So, for example, the Cloudburst or Cloud Algorithm by Journeyman kind of like has this. Which is a wonderful algorithm. So you might have seen that video. I'll put it down in the description below. But we're going to make this not a reverb pedal. It's going to be like this. There's barely reverb there. I'll come back to the word barely in a second. So you're probably asking, okay, so what's the clean tone? What are we working on? I've got a Fender Custom Shop Tele going into a 29 pedals EUNA, and out of that into the Montreal Assembly 2 Positive. It's a stereo overdrive. I love it. It's awesome. And with nothing else on, here's what we've got. How do we get from this to this? I'll show you. Now, before I do that, I'll tell you when I said there's barely reverb there, you can hear a little bit, right? It's kind of like you have an amp in a studio and you have it close mic'd. And then you still get a little bit of the room presence in there, but because the mic is so close to the amp, you're not getting a lot of it. So that's like, it's kind of like you hear it there, but all right, how do we get there? So I've preset this. I have it called clean to show you all the fun stuff. Okay, so we're going to dive in. We're going to dive in starting at the pre-delay. Okay, so on this pre-delay, you know what? Hold on a second. Let's get that mix. No, let's not do that. Back to where we were. Sorry, guys. Okay, so to make this happen, you got to start with the pre-delay. That's the very first thing in the menus here. So choosing a standard structure as opposed to reverse. Reverse gives some artifacts that you don't want. Type is digital. Again, if you go to the other types, it brings artifacts that you don't want. Make the time 0 milliseconds, 0. Feedback also at 0. And the crossfeed doesn't matter because you're bringing the modulation all the way down. No, sorry, crossfeed doesn't matter. And you're bringing the modulation all the way down. Dry blend 0. Damping at stock. On the reverb, I chose the ultra plate. You can probably do this with some of the other algorithms. You're just bringing everything out of it, right? So the decay is 0. The low frequency and high frequencies are at 100. That means they're all in there. You could probably do a little bit of EQing if you wanted to by adjusting that, but I'm not going to do that right now. Modulation depth at 0, modulation speed at 0. There's a lot of zeros happening. Pitch is off, pitch mix is off, or 0, and diffusion is 0 with the pre-delay blend at 0. And it's the gate, whatever. All right, so that's what gives us this sound. Okay, now how do we make this to be a multi-effect pedal? Why don't we start and just run down what the options are, okay? Now, the first thing you want to make sure you do to really get this right and to have it affect the whole incoming signal is to make this location pre plus dry. If you just do dry or pre, it's kind of not there. The pre plus dry means that whatever you have set up here is affecting your incoming dry signal. So here we go. This can be a compressor. As opposed to the no compressor. compressor link, skipping over that one because I honestly don't know it that well. This can be an auto swell. It can be a diffuser. And so this kind of sounds to me like, you know, we talked about earlier that room mic that's really, or sorry, the amp mic that's really close to the amp in the studio. This is like having a mic back at the back of the room. So you're hearing more room, a lot more room. Okay, it can do that. It can be a limiter. And it can do freeze. So let's see how, oops, hold on. Let's go to the, okay. It's set to dynamics freeze, make that latching. Okay, now let's go back to the dynamics, make sure that's on. This works really well when you're doing reverb. It holds that infinitely. I don't know what's going to happen when I do this, so let's find out. Okay, there, it still infinitely freezes. I like that. I'm going to save that real quick. Cool. Take the dynamics off, and I'll save it with that off. Sorry, guys. Okay. Next, preamp. Okay, so we can be a volume pedal. That would probably be something that you could use to hold the hold modifier, assign it to the volume pedal. It doesn't really do anything dry like this. It can be a tube pre. Transistor. An op amp. Cool. All right. So it's a preamp. Filter pedal. It's got a ladder filter. And first off, let me tell you that there's a lot of options in the filters that you can really tweak it and adjust. I'm not adjusting anything. We're just flying through here. That was ladder. Here's state variable. Parametric. Those are the filter options. Now, pitch. I love this. It can be what they call polychroma. And that pitch can be adjusted here. I just dialed it a bunch. Right? It can do a bunch of different stuff. It can be a micro shifter. I'm here in phaser. Not a very active phaser, but it's phasey. How about that? A lo-fi pitch. Okay, so, sorry, the odd micro tunings are throwing me here, but anyway, you can tweak them. All right, so those are the pitches that it can do. And okay, and as a modulation pedal, we've got chorus. We've got vibrato. We've got vowel mod. Trim pedal, tremolo. And then it's called hazy, but it's kind of like a lo-fi type vibe, like a tape. Think generation loss. And now I'm thinking it actually can be a delay pedal. Let's check it out. Let's just throw some feedback in there. Let's throw whatever that is. Let's see. Okay, it can be a delay pedal too. Okay, that's wild. Take all that back. That's where we were. So let's take the delay out of it for a second in our minds. Let's just make it a multi-effect all the way around. So let's make it a compressor. Let's make it a transistor. I'm gonna make the transistor though go in the feedback loop. Filter, be parametric in the pre-tank. Pitch, make it that polychroma. That'll be in the pre. And modulation. Let's do that trim, but make that in post. So we've got all of those in various places along the signal chain, and this sounds like so imagine that. The MercuryX can do a whole lot of things that you probably didn't know that it could do. So I'm hoping that this was a helpful video, and turn that off. Thank you for hanging out. Like, subscribe, comment, all those fun things, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.